In France, a climb down by the government continues in the face of massive Yellow Vest protest. The government has now made a U-turn and scrapped all planned fuel tax hikes for 2019. The new taxes were to kick in on the New Year's. The government has declared that the measure is being altogether dropped from the 2019 budget. This step comes a day after the Macron government announced a 6-month freeze on the eco-tax. This was the first time the Macron has made a U-turn on a major policy since taking power in 2017. The concessions are aimed at calming the Yellow Vest, who have been staging massive and violent protests against the French President Emmanuel Macron. The government move comes amid warnings that the protesters could unleash more violence on Saturday. A new round of protests is planned in Paris and elsewhere in France on Saturday, and the fear is that demonstrators could spark violence again. Already 4 people have been killed and hundreds have been injured in the protests that began on November 17 against fuel taxes and against Macron's perceived pro-big business agenda. On Wednesday, fresh protests intensified pressure on the president. Students took to streets in the southern western part of the country against the reforms proposed by President Emmanuel Macron, which includes a new selection system in higher education and increased enrollment fees. Farmers too said they will stage a series of protests next week. They are angry that the government will delay until early next year the rise in minimum food price. Farmers have long complained of being hit by a price war between retailers and sought to have the regulations brought in straight away. The government is appealing for calm.
Je voudrais profiter de ce moment d'audience pour, avec vous, porter un message essentiel, qui est celui de l'appel au calme. Et j'invite les gilets jaunes raisonnables, ceux qui ne soutiennent pas l'action violente, à se désolidariser des extrêmes et à ne pas se rassembler à Paris samedi prochain.
Now, last Saturday, rioters ran amok in the capital, torching some 200 cars, smashing shop windows and vandalizing the Arc de Triomphe, an iconic national monument. While the government has been appealing for peace, far-right leader Marine Le Pen and hard-left firebrand Jean-Luc Mélenchon have been vocal in backing the demonstrators.
Depuis plus de 3 semaines, des dizaines de milliers de Français expriment leur colère sur des ronds-points, sur des péages, près de zones commerciales ou dans les rues de nombreuses villes de France. Cette colère vient de loin. Elle a longtemps couvé, elle est souvent restée muette, par pudeur ou par fierté. Elle est aujourd'hui exprimée avec force et de façon collective. Cette colère, il faudrait être sourd ou aveugle pour ne pas la voir ni l'entendre.
Now, suspending the fuel tax hike was one of the main demands listed by Yellow Vest leaders. They also want a higher minimum wage and the return of a wealth tax on high earners, something that was abolished last year. The president maintains the fuel taxes were aimed at combating climate change and protecting the environment.